Sharkast. 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 IAA Sharkast.
Let's go Sharks. This is Dr. Don, your host for Sharkast episode 19. As we listen in, or not only listen in, this is a podcast, so you can watch in with our sixth grade students as they complete their projects. They've been working on a number of persuasive research projects, and they want the community to be a part of their research. They want you to understand what is best practice. How can we make the IAA community better? So we shall listen and watch in as our sixth graders present to us this week in Sharkast episode number 19. Hope you enjoy it.
So this morning we will be listening to 4 different presentations. The first one is entitled Recycling for Lives. Our second presentation will be about the benefits of starting school later. The third presentation will focus on the need for more recess for our students. And then we will finalize with a group who will present about the benefits of project-based learning versus traditional testing.
Okay, welcome everybody to our presentation, Recycle for Lives. We hope you can help us and change Earth's future. People need to recycle because it saves energy, lives, and the world. We strongly believe that Ecuador should start building recycling programs, especially in big metropolitan cities to save the country. Those big metropolitan cities produce a lot of waste, so it would really help if there are recycling programs there. Many animals are dying, including some of the rarest animals on Earth. In South America, at least 430,000 tons of trash are produced daily. Did you know that the whole world produces more than 14 million tons of plastic foam a year? Lots of the trash is ending up on the streets and in the oceans of our world. People need to know that trash is destroying the environment and ruining lives. People clean up the garbage in the roads, but they probably don't recycle it, and there's just more trash. Ecuador produces 4,200 tons of garbage every day. 14% of the 4,200 tons is recyclable. That means that almost 600 tons of garbage Ecuador produces could be recycled daily.
Most of the trash is ending up in the ocean, and it is killing animals and ruining their habitats. 100 million marine animals die each year from plastic waste alone. 37 animals have gone extinct because of trash. Keep calm and recycle. Many of the beaches are covered with plastic bags, water bottles, and other garbage. Rare animals in Galapagos are eating the trash and dying, like blue-footed boobies or turtles. If people don't recycle, the world will run out of space for all the trash. There is a huge island made entirely out of trash that is the size of Texas, and it takes up a lot of the ocean. Plastic takes about 300 years to break down into small pieces that end up in our environment because it has not been recycled. In our survey, 100% of the people said that they want to have a cleaner world for themselves and their future generations. Landfills are taking up a huge amount of the world since trash has increased these past few years. Since most of the trash in Ecuador is not recycled, it stays in the landfills that are getting bigger and bigger.
Other people may think recycling is expensive and it takes a lot of time to do, but recycling can be expensive initially since you have to build places that will sort out all the materials. But in the long term, it can actually be cheaper since factories and companies can recycle and create their products from it, and it will be cheaper to make materials for their company. People think that it is time-consuming because in the recycling factories, they have to sort out everything, and at home you have to put everything in different bags and put them in the correct bins. Trash in landfills and in the environment takes a long time to decompose, but if we recycle, all of those problems will be solved. And don't forget to reduce, reuse, and recycle. Here is a video about a town in Japan that produces no waste. We're going to stop it at 1.5 minutes, and we're going to send you the presentation so you can watch the rest of it.
The village of Kamikatsu is special, not for its tea fields or idyllic mountains or peaceful historic homes, It's known for something it doesn't have. Kamikatsu, as a town, produces almost no trash. Kamikatsu has a population of roughly 1,500 people, and in the 1990s was doing nearly no recycling. Burning all that garbage created carbon dioxide emissions that became dangerous, and the nature around them was suffering. So a decision was made. Kamikatsu had to change. This was the start of their path towards zero waste and a new way of living. Effectively, what zero waste here means is that there's no such thing as throwing something in the trash. Everything has to get recycled. And in the beginning, it was difficult for everyone.
Okay, I think we're gonna stop it right there. But it gives you an understanding of how some towns recycle. And if all towns and cities recycled like this, almost all our problems could be solved and millions of animals could be saved.
People need to recycle because it saves energy, lives in the world. We strongly believe that Ecuador should start building recycling programs, especially in big metropolitan cities, to save the country. We humans need to know that trash is destroying the environment and ruining lives. Most of the trash is ending up in the ocean, and it is killing animals and ruining their habitats. If we don't recycle, then the world will run out of space for all the trash. 100 million marine animals are dying because of us. But with your help, we could change that huge number to zero. We need help immediately. This is not only trash, it is a big problem every day we are all living. Help us change our future and everybody's future. Thanks for listening. We hope you can help make a change and save the world.
Sleep is something that our body and our minds need to get energy and to function. Let me give you an example. Imagine that you go to school on a Monday. You wake up tired. During the day, you get hungry, bored, and even more tired. At the end of the day, when you're in your bed, you try to get asleep, but you can't. So you stay awake until 2 a.m. You close your eyes, and when you open them, it's already 7 a.m., and you will get late to school. You didn't sleep enough. Now you add that you don't have time to eat your breakfast. When you get to school, you're tired and hungry. This is an example of many bad situations you can go through because school starts early.
The closer students get a full 8 hours of sleep, the better their grades will be, according to a new survey. But students in later years of high school are likely to average fewer than 7 hours of sleep, leaving them up to an hour and a half of short sleep they need. A UMRC clinical assistant professor Jack Pels recently found school start times may have a critical impact on teenage sleep and daily critical function. The findings provide additional evidence in the national debate over how school start times that impact teenage health. Here are 6 benefits of good night's sleep. You get a better concentration, you get a better memory, adds activity, and it helps you make better decisions. You get a strong immune system and reduce negative things.
According to our surveys, 1/3 of the population lives far away. Starting school later would prevent them from arriving late. 7% of surveys respondents said they want school to start late.
Why can't teens just go to sleep earlier? You may be wondering why teens can't just go to sleep earlier, but that's because of a hormone called melatonin. This hormone tells teenagers when to go to sleep. Because of this, they can just fall asleep when they want to. Melatonin doesn't start kicking in until 11 p.m., so that's why teens usually tend to stay awake till late at night.
For a long time, we know that our girls are not sleeping enough.
You would walk into class and you would see maybe half the class with their heads on the table.
When I was in Sec 3, I was sleeping at around 12 a.m. To 1 a.m. in the morning. So this meant that if I woke up at 6 a.m., I would have about 5 to 6 hours of sleep.
I was actually in the toilet and then I fell asleep, so I fell down and I hurt myself.
Your biological clock shifts when you go into your teen years. You start having a preferred sleep time that's about 1 hour later.
So when Prof came to us to suggest that let's work together to start school later by 45 minutes, we were very game to try it.
Teachers in other schools, when they hear about this, they're quite astonished because I guess it never occurred to them that such a thing can happen.
In conclusion, conclusion, our group believes and has shown benefits of school starting later. Most teachers and students don't get enough sleep, so when they get up to get ready and to go to school, they're tired and sleepy. Starting school late could benefit students and teachers alike. It gives students clear minds to learn, and it gives students clear minds to teach. Additionally, there are proven mental health benefits. That would be a 50-50 win for students and teachers.
Okay, so today we're gonna persuade you to that students can have more recess.
More recess. Did you know that the average recess time of a Finnish student is about 75 minutes? Did you know that the average recess time of American kids is 27 minutes? But in our school, we as students only get about 20 minutes of recess. Students in our school definitely need more recess because we need more time to eat, we need time to socialize, we need time to rest from the classes. Having recess helps us develop our thinking and our mental health. Students and I need to have at least 40 minutes of recess to eat, socialize, and rest from the classes.
Time to eat. The recess in IA is so short that to be able to have more fun, a majority of people don't have enough time to eat. As shown in the graph, about 66% of the students and staff does not have enough time to eat.
Rest from the class. Texas schools sees improvement in kids' attention span when they increase recess time. Students need at least 40 minutes of daily physical activity to rest from the classes. As shown in the graph, 71% of students in IAA don't rest enough from the classes.
Longer recess and socializing. There's nothing bad about getting more recess. Recess is important because it will allow you to reconnect and reestablish the bond you had as friends before the pandemic. Recess playtime is important for all ages. As shown in the graph, 100% of students in IAA want and need more recess.
Opposing viewpoint. Some people think that students should have more recess because recess can take time away from learning. It's not that students don't understand this, but schools actually can see improvement in students' attention, grade, span, and also participation when they increase recess time. At this point, we can see it is necessary for students to have at least 40 minutes of daily physical activity to rest from the classes. And also by adding more recess, students have more time to rest. If students get enough rest, they have enough energy and is more of an active participant in classes.
Conclusion. The students in IAA must have at least 40 minutes of recess each day. We need more time to eat, like 66% of our students in IAA communicated. We need more time to socialize and to interact, especially after so long of quarantine, like 100% of students in IAA communicated. Students need a lot of time to rest from the classes, rest their eyes, stretch, and work their brains. Most teachers believe students do not need so much recess time, but people have proved that having recess is very important after all. Thanks for listening.
Project is learning, a better way of learning. We are going to explain all the reasons why we think that a project is a better way of learning is a better way of learning in this presentation.
Introduction. Have you ever sat down to take the most important test of your life and immediately forget all of the information you studied hours for? Traditional testing focuses on memorizing and rote learning. We believe that traditional testing does not lead to lifelong knowledge. Instead, we believe students should be able to show their knowledge through projects.
We held a survey and 71% of people said that being tested by your memory makes it harder, and only 3 people said it doesn't make it harder. Students are told to study before tests when the test should have been taken with the knowledge they've earned. If not, then why even take those lessons? We believe that most kids would appreciate it if the tests they took were based on what they learned throughout the year. I don't have a very good memory, and I can tell you myself it would be great if I could take tests based on what I learned in the year instead of having to throw that all away and study.
Project. Imagine the teacher says you can choose which project to do for your final grade. You can choose the best project fit for you. If you have good memory or bad memory, you can choose the pro. You will be more eager for the test. This was demonstrated in the survey that we took, where 78.8% of the people said that they preferred a project. Also, a teacher said that project students have to study and even investigate on their own, so they will gain more knowledge about the topic that they are working on.
What happens when teachers design projects that empower students with voice and choice? Students embrace a maker mindset. They define themselves as inventors and creators. They learn to take creative risks. Here they experiment and engage in iterative thinking. When this happens, they embrace a growth mindset and grow resilient. They become problem solvers and systems thinkers. They become divergent thinkers, thinking outside the box. They'll use creative constraint to find original uses for materials. Here they discover it's okay to be different. Often students embrace curiosity and wonder. They become explorers, seeking out new information and thinking critically. They grow more empathetic as they design meaningful products that they launch to the world. On an academic level, students are more engaged and the information sticks. There's often an increase in student achievement. Meanwhile, they learn key skills like project management, collaboration, and communication. True, these projects will prepare students for the creative economy, but more importantly, they empower students for a creative life. Here they see that making is magic. We know that there's a time crunch in schools. Materials can be scarce. Sometimes you're stuck with a tight curriculum map. But when you, as a teacher, empower your students with voice and choice, they become the makers who change the world.
So projects are a better way of assessing students' learning styles. Tests don't assess many different learning styles, but with projects, students can do them at their own pace. They also get to make the project however they want to, and they don't have to study the whole semester to put everything they learned on the test. Instead, students have the information readily available, and all they need to do is present their project. Some people may say that testing is a better way of assessing students' knowledge, because memorizing the subject will mean that you learned more. For most student subjects, you would think that you should make tests, but there are alternatives. Some books can assess your knowledge as well as tests. Now, on a different topic, think about how many tests you've taken over the years. Think about how hard you studied for them. What were you studying for, though? The test or actual knowledge? If you're studying for the test, how many tests do you remember learning from? Our survey showed that over 48% of people, at least sometimes, remember what they studied for in tests. 15% saying that they didn't really learn anything at all from their tests.
Conclusion, and then we think that project-based learning is the way to go for schools. It's more effective for students to learn the material. The students will have more fun, and it's a better way to prepare for